They say a best friend is closer than a sister, but mine became my greatest enemy. My best friend took my husband. I was broken, shaken, and completely destroyed. This is my story. The sun had barely risen over the clay roofs of my village when I realized something inside me had shifted forever. My heart ached, not from hunger, not from fatigue, but from an emptiness no one could see. I, Obianuju, had always believed life would be kind. I had my best friend, Temiloluwa, and together, we thought we were invincible. From childhood, we shared everything, secrets whispered under mango trees, stolen treats from the market, even tears that no one else would see. People used to say, if Obianuju cries, Temiloluwa cries harder. And I believed them. I believed her. She was my sister, my confidant, my second shadow. We made promises to each other, promises that we would always stand together, no matter what life threw at us. I never thought one day, those promises would be the very thing that betrayed me. Then came Ikondeo. It was a rainy afternoon, and the sky hung low and heavy. He appeared at the village square, his shoes muddy, his shirt damp from the rain, yet he carried a smile that seemed to cut through the gloom. Temiloluwa's eyes sparkled with approval. He's good for you, Obianuju. Trust me, she whispered, tugging my arm. I smiled politely, but deep down, a flutter of caution stirred in my chest. I could not name it, but I ignored it. How could I? She had never lied to me, not once. Marriage began like a fairy tale. Ikondeo and I laughed, whispered promises in the quiet of the night, and shared dreams about a future that seemed unbreakable. But even fairy tales have shadows. Money became tight. Ikondeo lost his job. Arguments started, small at first, but they grew like cracks in a wall. And then came the subtle betrayals. Temiloluwa was always there, not comforting me, not helping me, but siding with him. When I complained, she would say softly, "Be patient, Obianuju. Men hate stress." When I cried, she would shake her head gently and whisper, "You are too dramatic. You should forgive him." I told myself she was only helping. But my heart whispered, "Watch closely." At first, it was subtle. A laugh a little too loud, a touch lingering too long, a glance that lasted longer than it should. One day, I jokingly asked, "Temiloluwa, are you my sister or his wife?" She laughed, brushing it off. "I'm just a sister, Obianuju." But the unease in my stomach had begun to grow. I couldn't ignore it anymore. Even the neighbors noticed. Mrs. Famileo, our neighbor, once leaned over the fence and whispered, "Obianuju, I have seen the way Temiloluwa looks at your husband." I laughed nervously, dismissing her words. "Impossible," I said. "She is my friend." But even as I said it, a cold fear began to creep into my chest. Then came the evening that destroyed me. I had left the market early and decided to surprise Ikondeo with dinner. The gate was locked, unusual for him. I knocked softly, then louder. Silence. My hands trembled as I pushed the door open. And there they were. Temiloluwa, on my bed, wearing my wrapper. Ikondeo frozen beside her. I was broken. Shaking. It was unbelievable. My heart couldn't take it. I was dead but living. Every breath felt like fire in my chest. My mind refused to accept what my eyes were seeing. My best friend, my sister, my second shadow, had become my worst enemy. "Obianuju," he tried, his voice trembling.
It just happened.
"It just happened," she said, her voice cold, almost proud. I could not scream. I could not cry. I could not even move. I stood there, trembling, the world collapsing around me. Every piece of trust one had, every memory of laughter and shared secrets, shattered in an instant. I was dead but living, alive only in the sense that my body still breathed, but my heart was gone. Days after that night were a blur. Ikondeo moved out. Temiloluwa stopped calling. The village whispered. I cried. I screamed. I cursed the sun for rising every day. My neighbors, who had once smiled at me, now looked at me with pity. My friends avoided me. And all the while, I struggled to understand, how could someone so close betray me so completely? Months passed, and slowly, I began to rebuild. I focused on myself, on my children, reclaiming the woman I thought I had lost forever. I walked in the market, I laughed again, quietly, cautiously, and I refused to let this betrayal define me. Then, years later, on a rainy afternoon that mirrored that fateful day, Temiloluwa came to my door. She was thin, fragile, tears streaking her face. Ikondeo had betrayed her, in the very same way. Now I understand your pain, she whispered. I forgave her, but some wounds, once carved, never heal. Trust is a gift, but sometimes the people we give it to will use it as a weapon. In Africa, we say, he who digs a pit for his neighbor will fall into it himself. Life had taught me, painfully but surely, that loyalty and discernment are survival tools. That betrayal often wears the mask of love. I learned to guard my heart, my home, my soul. And though life is not fair, sometimes the hardest lessons make us stronger. If I could tell every woman, every sister, every friend one thing, it would be this: guard your heart. Guard your home. Guard your soul. Because not everyone who smiles at you has your best interest at heart. And yet, life goes on, and we rise, stronger, wiser, and unbroken. And if you are listening to this story, remember, never let betrayal destroy your worth. Walk away, heal, and rise. Because your life is bigger than their betrayal. Thank you for listening to this African story. If this touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more powerful stories.